And good morning. This is Saga Live morning routine, day number 31. We are going to be taking things to a new level today. It's the beginning of our 4th cycle. Our cycles are 9-day cycles where we train for 9 days. And then on the 10th day, we let you do you. We broadcast the show the 9 days in a row, and then on the 10th day, we take a break from the show, and it becomes about your personal accountability towards your own morning routine, whatever that is. But today, as we start this 4th cycle, a large part of what I did for myself on my day off was I started researching and building things that I wanted to add to the routine without taking up more time. So I had to come up with some creative ways of getting some new concepts in. Obviously, we're going to cycle some old stuff out, because if you're interested in making that part of your morning routine, you're just going to go ahead, go back to the old videos, find the techniques that you like, and incorporate those and make those your thing. But if you want to keep learning some new stuff, I came up with some concepts that I really enjoy, and I think you might get something out of them as well. So today is Sunday, April 19th, 2020. 2020. Morning routine 31.
Oh wow, tomorrow's 420.
Tomorrow's 420. Yay! For 2020. Wow, I hope people have the mental energy to make memes for that all day tomorrow.
I'm sure they will.
Morning routine 31 is going to be my daily habit. And thank you everybody so far for joining. It's good to see you all there. Wow. Lots of people. All right, I am grateful for having an awesome day off. I got to edit a video. This will be the second thing I'm grateful for. I got to edit a video for a client. That was really cool. Someone from my friends at the Psychotherapy Networker got hooked up with me and sent me some content. So I just got to edit a really cool interview with Diane Rehm. And if anybody in this group knows who I'm talking about, that was freaking cool. So that's... I have cool gigs every once in a while, so I'm grateful for cool gigs.
If you're a person in the DMV, you should know who she is.
You definitely should. If you know talk radio, you have to know who she is. And then number 3. What am I grateful for with number 3? I need to think about this more. I am grateful that I am so spoiled that it is hard for me to find things to be grateful for. That I am spoiled for gratitude.
Privileged?
Am I privileged? Oh, by the way, we have producer Abra in the room today.
What's up?
Y'all should be very impressed. She is up on a Sunday morning and hasn't murdered me just yet. We're gonna get there, we promise. Today's affirmation, I'm going to write another new one for myself. I have a vision. A vision. I'm not going to say I have a dream. I'm not going to go there.
It's wise.
And I will make it happen. I have a vision and I will make it happen. And that's that. I'm just going to leave that there. We're already running a little bit behind schedule. Bear with us. Stick with us.
Hey, Josh. Good morning.
Promise that today is going to be a lot of fun. Aw, everybody's saying hi to each other. Make sure to say hi to each other. If you like this video, click that like button, because for whatever reason, it just makes me feel good. I need affirmation from the outside, not just internally. All right. So So today we're going to move into our top-down check-in and flow. And we're going to only add a couple of concepts here. And then we're going to kind of bridge right into the technique tutorial with a couple of new concepts and a new exercise. So we're not going to be doing a stance set just yet. We're going to be playing with some concepts, but we're going to build on some Tai Chi ideas as we get in there. So, love and light to all. Thank you, Jesse. I agree. Here I am. Rock me like a hurricane. Tilt up, tilt up, tilt up, tilt up.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting you at that moment. I need to face palm.
She had a face palm, as I quoted Scorpions. Rock you like a hurricane. Top down check-in. Let's get moving that head and neck. And again, if you've never joined us before, the top-down check-in and flow is a somewhat directed but very low guidance idea in training methodology where you stretch your body, your joints, your muscles, your tendons, your everythings. You stretch it however you need to, but you go sector by sector from the top to the bottom. And if you want more details on some of my ideas about these active wake-up stretches, go to the earlier videos. I just don't want to take up too much time when we have so much other stuff to focus on today. And we're going to end up warming up a lot with some of these moves, so it's going to be fun. I want you to really realize that what I'm doing when I do this is I'm listening to my body. I'm not just going through a routine for the sake of a routine. I'm going back and forth in different directions of that routine. Like if I spot check a thing and it feels like it's not really up there yet, if it doesn't feel like it's woken up yet, if it still feels extra crunchy, I gotta smooth it out just a little bit more. So the more I know about these different mobility techniques and the more ideas and options that I have, and the more that I imagine putting them into practice, the more likely I am to cover all my bases and feel better first thing in the morning. Through the chest. Ooh, definitely feeling that in the spine. Alright, and now into the hips. Alright. Going to go into those skiers that we usually do. Going to just add a little bit to it. As we're down, we're in the heels. And as we're up, we're going to raise up into the balls of the feet. So we're going to treat that a lot like a vertical chi raise, but now we're just using it as a little warm-up movement for the first thing in the morning. So you can start, as you build your flow and your top-down check-in and everything, by just staying stable on the ground. And then a little bit more, a little bit more, and then feel that connection. Your hips pull up your heels. And your hands go along for the ride. Feel nice and loose. And then what we're going to do when we go for the knees is I'm going to squat low. I'm going to turn my feet out. My knees are going to go in the same place, and I'm just calling these Spider-Mans. And I just want to be able to bend to the outside. If I want to, I can go from standing and drop down into it. So I'm opening up my hips and getting my hands right in between. And I'm staying on the balls of my feet. And if I want to get a little athletic, I can just jump from it.
Shut up in the front.
Sure. So I'm in the balls of my feet, a little bouncy, getting those knees warmed up, getting those ankles warmed up. And I push up, and I land again. Try and break down that landing. Don't land hard, try and. So everything we're gonna work on today in our technique tutorial is gonna be based around a lot of that kind of concept work of creating a chain-like movement in your body, or a whip-like movement in your body. This is good because my spine needs it today. All right. Going through the feet, stretching out the ankles. Okay. So here's what I want to teach today, other than those two little advanced moves. Okay, so this is going to be bridging into our technique tutorial. So bear with me. Our technique tutorial today is going to be kind of broken in half. First, we're going to do this new flow move. We're actually going to explore, I think, 2 moves with the flow. It's really 2 concepts. And then we're going to explore a new exercise for our Kung Fu conditioning. So let's have some fun here with our technique tutorial. What we're going to work on today is we're going to work on some arm and shoulder mobility exercises that are kind of my own interpretation of a lot of different concepts that I got from different types of Tai Chi and some mobility exercises. And things might look familiar depending on what background in Tai Chi you tend to have, if you have one. But really what we're focusing on here is just the simple idea of chain coordination between the body and the breath. So take all the concepts that you got from everything that we were doing before and start kind of connecting them together into your natural state of movement, rather than worrying about, am I doing this form or am I doing that form? Literally just start thinking about how you can connect the Tai Chi idea of movement with any type of movement you do. And that could literally be something as silly as sweeping a floor, putting a can on a shelf. We're going to be talking about how to build up that physical mentality, in a sense. So we're just going to come up with a really basic move, right? I'm going to stand at shoulder width, kind of almost like a high horse stance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let my arms drop down. And I'm going to focus, because I'm left-handed, I'm going to focus on my left hand, plus at home you can just mirror me on your right if you'd like. And I'm just going to turn it across my body, raise it up to the outside, turn my body and move it across. And then let it drop again. I just made a big circle, nothing special. It's not special. Making a big circle is not special. I can do that all day long like this. What we're going to focus on, though, is we're going to focus on making that circle with our whole body. And feeling how the rest of the body integrates with that movement. So what I want you to consider doing first is turn your feet, and then your hips, and then your waist, and let the hand follow. As it rises up, turn the shoulder, turn the waist, turn the hips and the feet, and bring it back across. And as it drops, let it settle back down. So turn, the hand rises, turn, the hand moves across, and let it settle back down. Turn, turn. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a little arm circle, or I'm doing an arm whip. I can either do it slow and create that whole circular motion, or I can do it fast and whip out with it. So part of my weird teaching methodology is sometimes I'll show like the advanced final kind of part of the concept rather than just keep you in suspense and break it up over time. because I don't think that we really get a whole lot out of not knowing where something is going. So if you can kind of see that you're trying to put this in there, in some Chinese martial arts and Tai Chi schools where people like to teach it, there's this idea of Fa Jing, which is this immediate expulsion of the energy. We're not going to get that heady with it, but I want you to think that if you coordinate your breath and let it out, you're starting to develop how you send things out all at once. This, if you're trying to be a performing artist, is going to be critical because anytime your character needs to throw a punch and they need to be really in an aggressive, aggravated state, their whole body needs to be behind it. So as I turn my hips and I turn my body back across, now I'm snapping that punch. I'm not just doing it with my arm. I'm not even just doing it just with my waist. I'm finding ways to send that rippling wave through the whole body. And then if you're looking for a healthy way to conduct yourself, being able to break things down allows you to move at different speeds but stay healthy because you've built in that smoothness. So now let's talk about making this into an integrated exercise. I'm going to actually have this hand actively engaged in some way. I don't really care what it is. You can put a fist by your hip like you're doing Kung Fu. I'm going to go around 5 times on one side and 5 times on the other. Now watch my breathing pattern. I breathe in, and I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. You can either watch your hand, you can watch in front of you, you can close your eyes, but the goal is feel that drop to it. Now I'm going to do it 5 times from the other hand. And again, I'm breathing loudly so you all can hear it at home. So now let's just add one little element to that just as an example. I can come up and over, right? And I can load the opposite hip. So what I can do is, as I bring this up, I can throw that punch right out of it. And that's where we're starting to build it into that Kung Fu fighting art aesthetic, like a Jet Li. We're going. And if you notice, that's our reverse punch. I'm setting it up with this nice big internal energy. My hips are coordinating, my feet are coordinating, my hands going, and then when I feel that drop and I want to breathe out, I whip that fist across my body. And we'll go 5 times on the other side. Ready? This hand. What you'll notice is that at the end of the move, I'm rechambering this hand to this hip, getting that pull into that punch. For those of you that are maybe fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, a lot of this is going to look like water bending because there's a lot of different styles of Tai Chi. You've seen us do different things here. These hands are much more similar to Chen style Tai Chi and the silk reeling. I am not trained in that. I've done a little bit of it. I understand the concept work because I used to just mess around again in my basement trying to copy those types of movements and trying to integrate the little pieces slowly to make things happen rather than just punching like that. I want to load my body. And one of my stage combat teachers, Casey Kaliba, was really good at coiling and releasing. And he just taught as a basic concept like that. All I'm trying to get you to do is also integrate a little bit of breath work so that hopefully you can turn into some relaxing, meditative motion but also trying to really do that mind-muscle connection thing where you're activating the lower body to move the upper body. So even though I was calling this an arm technique, it's going to really start with the legs. But there are ways of going in the reverse. Not going to get into those today. And thank you, Abra, for sharing the YouTube channel. We definitely need those subscribers. We're getting so close. We crossed 70 subscribers yesterday, which was awesome. The last part of the technique tutorial today, and we are pretty much right on time, is that what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a way to enhance our Kung Fu conditioning routine with a very familiar exercise known as the push-up. Did everybody leave? Great. Okay. In my old Kung Fu system under Fundi John Weeks, part of our basics training, part of our conditioning training at the beginning of every class was a set of 100 push-ups. First of all, we will not be doing 100 push-ups today. I will not be doing 100 push-ups probably at any point in my life. It's just not my thing. But, what was cool about these push-ups is that they were done with different types of hands. And I'm not saying I switch off my hand and it becomes like a hook and, or ball and chain. I'm saying like different positions and placements. I don't all of a sudden get like a gun arm like Barrett in Final Fantasy VII. Anyways, moving on. So these different hand placements and these different hand positions are going to help you build strength in different parts of the arms, chest, and back. Your core will always be engaged. It should be anyways when you're doing a push-up. So push-ups can even help a little bit with the core. You still need to do core-focused work if you really want to grow that. But this set is really great because you will feel the difference in the push-ups. And it'll help you to also discover which push-up you like to do the most when you decide to add it to your own routine. Or if you are trying to figure out how to solve a problem area in your arm, or if you need to do push-ups for somebody else's exercise and they don't tell you exactly how to do it, so maybe you can just do it that way. So here's what we're going to do. The first one we're going to do is referred to as Sun Fist. These names come from my Kung Fu system that I was part of. I do not have any ownership over these names, and I cannot tell you why they're called the things that they're called necessarily, but I'm going to tell you. So Sun Fist is vertical fists outside the shoulder plane and directly under it. And it's going to be pretty much at a shoulder width. And yes, by the word fist, I am implying that should you feel like pursuing it, you will be doing these on your knuckles. If you have a mat, really great. If you don't and you want to be a baller, totally do it on a hardwood floor. Me, I'm going to stay on the squishy mat for this one. Or concrete. So my fists are coming out shoulder width. I lower myself and I push back up. Now I might need to make mine a little bit wider. I just want to be able to open up my arms, squeezing at the bicep just a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your hands tight and focus on getting your first 2 knuckles to the ground so that you work on developing your wrist alignment. Push-up number 2. We're going to go through these fast because then they're going to end up in, oh, that's a secret. Ram's head push-ups. Again, don't know where the damn name came from, just going to give you the name. Ram's heads are more out from underneath the chest. So if you don't want to put them all the way down to your rib cage, but you want to have them kind of in pec height. But the goal here is to kind of have this starting point where the elbow is bent like this, and then pushing through, really focusing on that tricep extension. So I'm going to show this one from the side to start. I lay on the ground, push my palms into the ground, I extend my triceps up, and then I lower again. Notice how I'm trying to keep my elbows coming across my rib cage rather than out. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be your Ram's head push-ups. I'll show them from the front real quick just once. And again, I'm saving up my form a little bit for when we have to do this as a workout. So if you're seeing me be a little wibbly wobbly, it's because I'm not trying too hard right now. Third push-up. All right. Third push-up is a wide grip push-up. In our system, we just called this Chinese fist. It's exactly the same as sun fist. It's just out wider. So if sun fist was your fists are in front of your elbows or inside of your elbows, Chinese fist is your fists are outside of your elbows. Open it up. Try and make it as even as you can. Also, if you have issues with your arms today and you need a modifier, you can totally do stuff like just do it on your flat hands. You can totally like hold the position rather than go through it all the way. But if you want to be challenged and you want to give it a shot, all the way open like this, lower and rise. This one's really going to work your back and definitely your deltoids. All right. Now there were 5 different push-ups in our system. We're only going to do 4 of them for our purposes. The 4th one's a little nuts. The 4th one is cranes. You're going to take your hands, you're going to put your fingertips together, you're going to bend your wrist inside. Yep, it's the same cranes as that and that. You're going to be doing the push-up on the top of the wrist. If this is not comfortable for you, do not do it. If you are not ready for that, do not do it. If you want to work up to it, there's a couple of options. You can do them against a wall while standing, or if you can't do the push-ups, you can just hold the position. And I'll say that again when we get into it. These are going to be most like a diamond push-up. I asked my personal trainer roommate, Dash. He was like, oh, it's kind of like a diamond push-up. So if you need to do it just to get the center of the chest a little bit more, you just do open hands. If you want to do it like cranes, put them backs of the hands on the ground, sit your body weight over it, lower, and rise. And if you can't do the push-up and you want to still try and build this conditioning in your wrist, just hold the position. So that's it. I just wanted to blast through that real quick. We're actually starting to catch up a little bit on our clock, considering we started like 5 minutes late. It is a Sunday after all, so please forgive us as we keep moving through this. But those 4 push-ups are going to be integrated later on in today's workout. And that's that. So we've got these arm moves that we're going to start building. We're going to take those into fun places. And we've got these push-ups. So it's kind of like we're trying to get into arm day. Just a little bit. And I'm not going to lie. A lot of that is because of my own specific goals. I want bigger arms right now. Want bigger arms? Got to do stuff with my arms. Push-ups are a great way to go. I might as well go back to something that I learned years and years and years ago that I hated. But I know that if I integrate it in a smart way, I can make use of it. All right, before we get into our planks, we're going to go and just have our quick community question of the day. Do not really have a complicated one today. Today is day 1 of the new cycle. So, if you could please, when we get to those community answers, all it's going to be is, what did you do on day 30? What did you do on day 30? Did you do the morning routine? Did you check out one of the older videos? Did you hit up one of the friends from the community? What did you do to keep yourself consistent, on track? Or did you just take the day off completely? And again, no judgment. I don't care. I invented a whole new coursework for everybody. But I didn't just like sit there and bang out my reps either. And that's pretty much going to be my answer for today because I'm not going to go too deep into that when we get to the answer section. I really want to be able to hear from you all. And with that said, I can only do the 4 cranes before collapsing. I know what I'm working on now. Josh, you are such a freaking champ. You are definitely somebody that will be able to pull those crane push-ups off. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Spoiler alert, we had to do 20 of each push-up back in our Kung Fu class on day 1. Most of us never made it up to 20 push-ups. Plus a 5th set. Yeah, no, I am fine, says Adriano. Yeah, definitely, Adriano, if you gotta preserve those wrists, do not do the crane push-ups. But if you want to try doing them against the wall, they're going to actually help with some structure. I do not recommend putting them at risk if you need to do it that way. All right, let's talk about getting into our planks. We're going to change it up again for this cycle. I am done with side planks. I do not get a good feeling out of those for myself. That doesn't mean that they don't have a benefit. It just means that they might not be for me. You can still do them if you like them. I, on the other hand, am going to get into doing tabletops, and I'm going to also go back into my maximal hold front plank. I'm going to talk through the tabletops. We're just going to go right into it. In order to get into an optimal position, I'm going to lay flat on my back. I'm going to sit up, put my hands underneath me, push my knees forward. It's that easy. If I want to, I can walk my hands more underneath me, but I'm trying to extend, again, squeezing those glutes, because you got to, squeezing through those hamstrings and pushing my knees forward. I'm trying to extend my body as flat as possible. And if I want, I can look back, hold a little bit of tension in my neck, not to the point of discomfort, but just so that I'm building a little bit of neck strength and pushing up through those shoulders as best as I can so that I'm still gaining and not just crunching the shoulders. Back to our maximal hold plank. I figured this out yesterday when doing the tabletop. I lay flat on the ground, I put my hands underneath me, boom. I know that I've popped up at the full length of my body. Ta-da! It was that simple. It was right there in front of me all along. All I had to do was fall down. Push through, a little bit of bend to the elbow if you want, squeeze. We're only doing 30-second rounds today as we're building a new cycle, but we're going to quickly go back up to 45. Back down. 30 seconds is too easy for me now. Onto your back. Sit up, your legs are fully extended, hands come underneath, push up, throw those feet forward, and adjust as little as need be, but try and feel a full extension to your body. And try and raise those hips up just a little bit. And if you really extend through the arms, it's going to be very tricep oriented because you're pushing through the backs of the arms. You're working the core in a very different way and still getting a lot of benefit out of it. And back down. Yeah, I look okay doing these. I could look better. Mostly I gotta push that pelvic floor. Ah, there we go. All right. I'd actually tried to do this routine before, many months ago. I didn't like it as much. Now I think I appreciate it a lot more because there's parts of the tabletop that I'm getting a lot better. And now that my regular plank is a little bit more efficient, I feel like I'm able to draw more out of the tabletops. Maybe I'll end up feeling that way about side planks later. You can always cycle back and try something that you tried before and see how you feel about it now. Really gotta squeeze the backside of my body so that it stays flat the whole way through. I don't want it to droop, I want to squeeze it. Don't droop, squeeze. Build up that lower back strength. The posterior chain? Yeah. Thank you, producer Abra, for remembering those Henry Cavill videos with me.
I mean, I knew that before.
Yes, you did, because you're smarter.
Not necessarily.
Tabletops and front planks. Thank you, Abra, for sending that to everybody. Gonna go right into that front plank. We're almost done. You're gonna get a lot of arms today, everybody. Cannot promise that today is going to be the fun day. But you can't always just have the fun days.
Technically, you did. You said, hey, it's been a lot of fun today.
Darn it! I didn't lie. Merely spread butter with the truth. You know, to make toast feel different. Did I start on the tabletops?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why I ended on that. Great, good job everybody, you did your planks. Great. Yay, arm day, says Abra, whose arms make mine look tiny.
That's not true.
100% true. Gina Carano is afraid of Abra.
Also not true.
I'm going to say that right now. Gina Carano, you better watch out because Abra's coming for you.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, she is. She's coming for you with a vengeance and big arms.
No, I'm not.
Be ready, Gina Carano.
No.
Of The Mandalorian and Haywire and Deadpool. Be ready because Abra's coming for you with her arms.
Can you not challenge her on my behalf?
I'm going to challenge Gina Carano on your behalf. Because you're Abra.
Gina Carano, I think you're great. I'm not challenging you. You're awesome.
Unfortunately, the microphone points more in this direction, Abra, so she can't hear you.
Uh-huh. I'm sure she's watching.
She's totally watching this show. Okay, back to work. Alright, coming back just a little bit. So I can be in the frame. Okay. So now is the fun part with our Kung Fu conditioning. We're going to keep the Kung Fu conditioning. We're going to add more arm day. Because, here's the little trick. We're going to do our 4 basics, the first ones that we ever did. But now, we're going to intersperse 4 push-up sets. Okay, people haven't left just yet.
You're also on lag. So.
I'm waiting for the video to catch up. We have to build the parts that we haven't focused on. But we should also maintain the parts that we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our brush floors. And then we're going to do the first push-up, the sun fist. Then we're going to do our horizontal chi raises. And then we're going to do the second push-up, our ram's head fist. Then we're going to do our elbow to toe. And we're going to do the third push-up, the Chinese fist. Finally, we're going to do our vertical chi raises. And we're going to end with the crane's fist. If you can't do the crane's fist, diamond push-up. If you can't do the push-up with the crane's fist, and you want to just still hold that posture and build it up, you can just hold it. How many reps are we going to do of each push-up? Today, just 5. That simple. We don't need to do more today. We might go up to 7 tomorrow. The goal might end up being 10 by the end of this cycle. It doesn't have to be 1,000 push-ups because we're focusing on the structure and we're focusing on building that understanding of what we're trying to move. Biceps, triceps, back muscles, holding into that posture with the forearm. Try and start paying attention to what actually makes the push-up work. Don't feel like you owe the push-up perfection. Feel like that push-up is helping train a part of your body. The workout should work for you. You don't do the work for the workout. With that said, let's get into our brush floors. I missed these a lot. Stepping forward with the right foot. Chest to thigh, whip out, sit back, and throw your arms out. This should be pretty familiar considering we did those arm whips this morning. Start building up that same feeling of energy of that chain. I drop down. 1. Now, we are going to do 20 of these, 10 of the horizontals, and 10 of everything else, just so that we get through it today. We're going to start small, build big by the end of the cycle. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch your feet. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. Bring your feet together. Go down into your sun fist. I'll do them facing this direction so you can see the hand position. Out from the shoulders, underneath the pecs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, back up. Going to do our horizontal chi raise. Breathe in. Breathe out and split your feet open and drop down while pushing out. And then breathe in again. We're going to do another 9 of these. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to go into our ram's head push-ups. Again, I'll face this direction so you can see where my fists are. They're more along my side body, not up here at my chest. They're a little bit lower. So I can lower myself to the ground, put my hands under my shoulders, activate my core, and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 through those triceps. Okay? Going right into our elbow to toe. Hey, this is fast and furious today. We ain't taking too many breaks. Check step. Hands connect. Bend over. And come back. Just going to bust out 10 of these today because we got to keep moving. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Third move, Chinese fist, big and open. At the plane of the shoulder, opening up across the chest. You can lay down. Open up your fists. Try and keep them even. And then, again, activate your core and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, vertical chi raise. Feet shoulder width and a half apart. Hands down. Make a fist. Breathe in, raise up off of your heels. Tilt your pelvis forward slightly. Breathe out, drop down with a deadlift butt out behind you. We're going to do 10 of these total. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going a little bit more explosively through these. I should focus on stopping at the bottom. I'm not going to go back and do them again. We just need to get through the workout today. Last push-up, cranes. Only if you're comfortable. You have your options. You have diamond push-ups, or you have holding the posture. Me, I better try and go for the full 5. Do not want to disrespect my lineage. More than I already am. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, that's it. Kung Fu for today. Thank you all for joining me on that. That was a trip down memory lane. I never got used to those push-ups. And a big part of that was, as a younger student, we were told, do 20. And I'm not blaming my teacher, and I'm not blaming anybody directly, but I am kind of putting a little bit of the responsibility on the mentality of the traditional system. If you're not doing 20, you're not doing the art. That's how it kind of feels in the class. So if you're struggling, you're not there yet. And if you're struggling and if you're not there yet, you're not a true martial artist, etc., etc. That's not what my teacher was putting on me, but that's some of the stuff that was coming into my brain. What I'm talking about is this difference between perfection and success. It doesn't have to be perfect to be successful. Your metrics are set up by you. If I came to class and I was told, do 5 and hold it, I would feel more successful. But if I was told, do 20 and I can only get through 5, well then just hold it anyways. There's a different approach in terms of coaching. So what I want you to remember is that even if you can't get through all 5, you're not failing. Do 4 today. Do 4 until you do 4 really, really, really well. And then do 5. That's it. Build it as you feel comfortable. You're only going to get as strong as you're going to get. You can't really force a lot of it. You have to put in the effort. You have to burn that candle. You have to make it a grind, but you can't push it or otherwise you might injure yourself. So you've got to keep that in mind. Progressive growth. Okay. Hey, Abby. I did them on the wall, which worked pretty well. Something to work on. Fantastic. Becca got 3-ish. Good. Everybody's killing it. Okay. Now that we're done with our Kung Fu, we're going to go back into our Savate Leg Holds. 6 rounds at 30 seconds. And we're going to just add... We're going to change up the holds just slightly. No other differences today. But as always, our first hold will just be the normal median hold. Trying to keep that knee right outside the hip socket, not above it, not below it. If you can, just hold it right out. This is actually going to be one of the harder places to hold it. And if you need to support it, squeeze the glutes, fire the posterior chain, and keep your torso upright. If you want to, you can start bouncing a little bit on the root leg. Just make sure that this kind of moves with it. 30 seconds, shouldn't be too hard by now. All right, back to the other side. Stretch out as much as you need to in between your reps. I kind of want to get a head start on it. Okay. A little bit of movement here, a little bit of movement there, maybe some pistoning up and down, maybe some hopping around. Doing a lot better on the squishy mat, so clearly I must be getting better at holding everything. Or I'm falling off the squishy mat. Ooh, that one was a little bit tougher. We haven't made today much of leg day. All right, the next hold is going to be the chasse lateral, or the side kick hold. As I pull it up to my chest, I turn it over. I'm pointing my foot towards my opponent, but my knee is turned over, so my foot is horizontal rather than vertical. If you want, you can totally do these 90-degree angle switches. But for right now, I'm focusing on trying to get my knee to my chest and hold my root up and trying to flex this back as much as possible to present it. Some people like to refer to this as like the fire hydrant sort of look.
You're peeing on a fire hydrant.
I am peeing on a fire hydrant. I am shooting you with my butt.
I don't know which one's better.
Neither is better. Both are weird. All right, chasse lateral on the right side. my weaker side, my complementary side, as Dr. Brian Stoops would say. Pulling that knee to the chest as best as I can. I can feel that it's really right up here in the hip flexor and the quad where my range of motion is kind of stilted in comparison to the other leg. So again, as I keep growing, I'm going to start discovering, well, what's holding this one back from being as mobile as that one? It could be all of this right here. The only way I'm ever going to get better is to keep exploring it and try and pinpoint it, and don't just do these moves mindlessly. This ends up being one of the downsides of being in a really strict martial system, is eventually you just do what you're told and you don't think about how to improve it. You're just trying to hit the metrics that they're prescribing. So now I'm going to do these foot A holds. I'm actually going to extend the foot for these because I really want to start practicing getting that long leg engagement now that I feel comfortable holding up the knee. But I still want to expand through the back, coil it, tighten it, and hold it out. All right? All the way down the line. We're going to go over some moves that focus on that tomorrow during the technique tutorial. All right, ready to the other side. I can start it open. I can start closed, and then I can make it open, and then I fire the back. Letting it bob around, but keeping it straight the whole time, even when I have to hop. And I can extend the toes through this one for sure. I should, if I want to practice my fouette on kicking with the toe, not with the heel. All right, everybody's favorite sound. That's it for our Savate for today. Whew! Good start, everybody. Good start to day 31, cycle 4. We're at 10 o'clock. We're just a few minutes behind when we started. I'm going to go through my stretch set, open my legs up a little bit after all that hard work. And for you guys at home, you can start giving me that answer. What did you do when you weren't being held accountable to me? What did you do on your day 30? And my answer was, I made up day 31. And it took me about an hour and a half, and I got to break a really nice sweat, and I got to do it all in glorious silence, and being alone, and listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger on my headphones, because he's my weird spirit animal, my giant Austrian bizarre freak show spirit animal. He's an amazing human being. This I should make very clear. When I was doing the stretch set by myself, I felt a lot more in it. This is the tricky thing about doing these routines to a video, especially when it's somebody like me that tries to be super duper cornball. I don't want to take you guys out of concentration land, but this is a TV show in a sense, so I have to at least try and be, I don't want to say entertaining, but I do have to try and be entertaining. But it's just my personality anyways. I'm not really trying. This is just me. But my point is that, speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, he said in an interview, he was talking with, I think it was somebody from bodybuilding.com, and they were talking about gym culture and how dudes like in between sets are like getting on their cell phones. And what he was trying to explain was, yeah, if you're like going on your cell phone in between sets, you're not actually focusing on your workout. You're not going to get the gains that you want. And that could be conjecture. I'm not saying that's 100% true. But the idea of paying 100% complete attention to what you're trying to develop is critical if you want to maximize your growth. So for me, if I really want to get better at these stretches, shutting up, sitting down, sit down and shut up, and listening to my body and focusing on what I want to achieve without cracking jokes and without talking to you all, is going to be what allows me to push that needle forward. And that's critical. Because then I'll feel that I'm coming up to the edge of that cliff and I can push myself off of it rather than distract myself with chitter chatter and jokes. Jokes and jokes and jokes. So allow me to just focus right here. Okay. I think that was always a really great thing about our Kung Fu classes is we were not encouraged to talk very much. We were actually very much discouraged from talking during training. And it built a really great mentality about shutting up and paying attention to what we were trying to accomplish. Now, there's a lot of modern martial arts classes that are like, you know, just shut up and work out. But what we were doing was very rarely partnered. So in that sense, you're doing your stance set as a group. You're doing your movements and your conditioning as a group, but you're all in there together on your own. You're there together, but you're on your own. It's not very different from what we're doing here. Except the teacher or the person leading the class wouldn't explain a whole lot. Just be like, here's the move, do it until I say stop. At which point you'd have to go inside yourself and you'd have to think, what am I doing and how do I do it the best that I can do it? Or if you're having a really bad day, what am I doing and how do I just get through this? How can I lazy my way through this Kung Fu workout? Wendy, I literally just realized I've been in the wrong video the whole time. Welcome back. All right, so folks, what did you do on your day 30? And then we're gonna wrap up in just 5 minutes. So you better get those answers in fast. And while I'm waiting for the answers, I'm just gonna sit here and chill. I'm gonna try and keep my back up straight, sit in my half lotus, kind of just like let all the tension of everything that I just put my body through kind of just drain out. Adriano, I think my eyesight's going, but I read that as I lost you or something. And I was thinking of Crusaders, Last Crusade. I don't know why. Weird.
Point is, Wendy, you got something out of your morning routine. You still did one, even if it was a different one.
You're back now, and honestly, you don't want to talk to me. You just want to work out. We get it. It's good.
She did reply to things.
Yeah, she did. Also, she was totally like working out insanely yesterday.
Sure.
What did Wendy do on her day 30? She trained with Abra. I'm like sitting there editing Diane Ream's quiet voice talking about death with dignity, and all of a sudden I hear, sorry everybody, and I'm like, what the there could not be two more different things. I believe everybody has the right to choose when they die. Flunk! And that was my day 30.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Josh says I didn't do the morning workout, but I did some flexibility training. All right, Good. You got on something, that's good. Wendy says, I went for a walk in the woods to try and find more of those delicious little morel mushrooms. Okay. Did anybody do any type of training? Becca says, I did the full morning routine from last week, except I went back to the old plank set and did it for longer and added the Kung Fu basics into our intermediate. Dang! I was happy I remembered the full stance set without the videos. What? I probably messed up some of the transitions though. No worries there. That's... Dude, wow. Thank you for putting in all that work. That's really cool. Go you. Freaking Viking warrior over there. Viking Kung Fu ninja warrior Becca. She's a Viking Kung Fu ninja. Becca.
That's impressive.
Adriano, that was awesome. It pushed a little bit further without going nuts and compensated for the huge amount of nothing I decided to do yesterday as a day off. Yes, that was the answer to the question of the day. I like how you just snuck that in there. I did hard work today because I didn't do anything. Again, I'm not here to necessarily hold you accountable for your day off. The day off is also an excuse for me not to be on camera, which I love being on, but yeah, sometimes it's hard to focus on my own personal growth. But really, and again, here's the trick in my opinion. When are you waking up? What are you doing to take care of yourself as early in the day as possible? I don't even have to say first thing in the morning, especially if it is a weekend and you don't have a day job, or if you're a freelancer and you don't have a day job. What are you doing to get your head on straight and make sure that you can conduct yourself as healthily as possible that day? And if you get a little bit of a workout out of it, even better, I guess. But if it's just reading 20 pages of a book, or if it's making a really good breakfast that you feel that you're able to give mindful attention to, anything that kind of shakes you out of sleep land and puts you into the world and allows you to just wake yourself up in a holistic, healthy way, that's why we really do the morning routine. And that's one of the reasons why I stress that it's a morning routine, because how you start your day is going to affect how the rest of your day goes. And if you're like me, the last time we had a break in the cycle and you don't start your morning routine until 2 in the afternoon, basically from 9 to 2, you're just going like, and you're fuzzed out because you haven't started. It's that pulling of the ripcord that I need, at least. You do you, of course, but that's just my opinion on what I've found helps a lot. And a lot of success coaches and people like that, these coaching mindset people, say that having a morning routine is critical to being successful. It's your call. Whatever works best for you. Some people argue against it. Major house chores are definitely a workout, says Wendy. In response to Abby saying, I drank a lot of coffee and then deep cleaned my kitchen and did laundry in my sink. Oh, and I jumped rope a bit. So that's something. Abby, that's fantastic. I hate jumping rope, so go you. You are baller of the day for jumping that rope. Well, I mean, Becca's also Viking Ninja Warrior, but yeah, jumping rope is...
You have a lot of ballers right now.
I have a lot of ballers. Everybody's baller. Everybody's a baller, and you get to be 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 a baller. All right. So we're going to wrap it up. Great answers. Totally take things at your pace. Again, if you end up finding workouts that you really enjoy, integrate them into your own habits. This is an exploration. This is for you to discover techniques that you really like and think about attributes that you really want to develop and get a sense of what you can do to craft your best heroic self, which is what we try and preach here. I want you to think about, like, there's all these different superheroes and not all of them are Superman. And we know that the world doesn't begin and end just because there's a Superman. Sorry, JB. But every single person with their own different attributes counts. And when they develop the attributes that matter to them, that's what makes them special. You make yourself special. And it's up to you to determine what that's going to be. Even if that's sitting in front of Facebook Live and talking like an idiot for 31 straight days to an audience of wonderful people who you keep feeling imposter syndrome because how did I trick you all into being here?
Technically, it wasn't 31 straight days because you took days off.
She makes a good point. Not 31 straight days. Ugh. Okay, let's wrap it up then. Thank you all for coming today. If you would like to help us out in any way, there's 3 major things you can do. 1, send us photos or videos of you doing some sort of saga-styled workout. Be brave and share yourself with the world because you can help inspire others. Because you've been doing it, and you've definitely been inspiring me. So I want to share that. The second thing you can do to help out is that we've put almost all of the content that we've been developing this month onto our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is going to be the next platform that we really focus on. But if you haven't yet, please subscribe to it. While you're busy not having anything to do during the quarantine, do you want to learn some martial arts? Do you want to do some conditioning? Here's a backlog of nearly 50 hours of content for you to work through. Lastly, if you haven't yet and you're on Facebook, please consider writing a review or a testimonial about what it's been like to train with us for the last 31 days or training with us in the past in person. We really want people to know that what we're doing is effective, both on a physical level, but really that you're satisfied as somebody who's worked out or trained with us. We really care about letting people know that what we're doing is fun and successful for you, not just for us. From me to you, this was day 31, day 1 of our new cycle. Let's come back on day 32 and keep getting stronger together. We got this, you got this, and I'll see you tomorrow.